Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So it's that time again. We're back with our Saturday Night Live. There wasn't a live stream last week. I wasn't feeling too well. So, um, but we're live in doing our live, usual live again today. So let's see who comes along. Hopefully, there'll be a few people pop in. I don't want to be sat here on my own. Let me get this on the computer and I can see what's going on there. So what we'll do is we'll have a little chit chat, um, as we normally do, and talk about what we're gonna do over the next few weeks. We've got a thumbs up and Drops Family Gardens here. How are you doing, man? Thank you very much for coming in. Mags is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I thought I was gonna be sat on my own for a bit then, Billy No Mates, but yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you. Um, we've got someone else pop in. Let's see who that is. Seamus is here. How are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. I'm all right, Mags. I was off ill last weekend, so I couldn't do a live stream last Saturday. Um, my tonsils got the better of me, so I had a bad case of tonsillitis, and the lurgy's generally been going around in our house. The baby's been ill. The kids have been ill. Today, my wife's been really ill. She's been in bed all day. Yeah, she's been stuck in bed all day. So it's not been a good day. Well, not been a good week. Um, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Drops Family Garden started up the microgreens again for the winter. I saw a video of your setup. And I saw your solar power system as well. Wow. Now that's a pretty cool system that you've got there. Um, get a cold diffuser, an essential time oil, and start using it for the cold season. What's a cold diffuser? I've not heard of a cold diffuser before. Tell me about it. Yeah, Mags, the kids are all right now. The baby's still not 100%, but my wife's really bad today. So I've been I've been stuck in the house babysitting, looking after the kids all day on my own. It's not been fun, is what I can say. um, yeah, Seamus, everyone's got it. We're getting there. We're getting there. The passionate gardener vlogger. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you doing? I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you very much. That's a new name by me. Where are you based? Time oil. Okay. But what's a cold diffuser? Um, Mags has been doing some DIY. What have you been making? Diffusers, home weeks, 100 mil colourful essential oil diffuser with. Right, I'll get onto Amazon and have a look. I'll have a look. I think I think it was Jazz from Alternative Smallholding who was telling me about using some essential oils, but I'm not 100% clued up on what to use for when. It's something that I need to learn. I think it's something that I need to get my head around and start learning. Um, Cold diffuser mist the oil doesn't heat it up. Okay. First of all, I put together my workbench. Then I started making a run for my quail. Sounds like you have been busy. It sounds like you've been really busy. How big run are you making for your quail? And how many quail have you? Thyme has been used for centuries for colds, coughs, and antibacterial, antifungal whooping cough for babies. Oh, see that'd be quite useful because my son gets croup quite a lot. It's not quite whooping cough, but he does. The baby's got croup a few times now, so should be quite useful for that. I bet you're exhausted. I feel shattered just by sitting in the house looking after the kids all day on my own. Uh, it's not easy, you know. It's not easy. Um, I don't know how. Um, so it's good for bronchitis. It's good for menopause. I'm not going to suffer from menopause anytime soon, so I should be all right. Digestive issues. Um, no, that sounds that sounds like a bit of a wonder drug. That's pretty good. That. What's my favourite herb? Probably coriander. Coriander's one that I like a lot. We pretty much use coriander in everything. Um, well, yeah, regardless of what kind of cooking we're doing, or even salads and stuff like that, coriander has to be one of the key ingredients. It's always in there. I've got one boy and four girls. They're in a large rabbit hutch. I'm making 3 feet by 2 feet run to join onto it. Mine is then to build an aviary over winter. Quail are teeny, so don't need much space. Yeah. Can quail fly properly, or are they one of those low flying birds? Got coriander seeds, but rather a large plant to plant inside. You can have it in a small pot on a windowsill drop. Over winter, if it's not freezing, you can still have it in the in a small, maybe a 6 centimeter plant pot, and just sprinkle a few on top, and just keep them on your windowsill to go through to go through. Um, Mine has to be wild garlic or mint. I love mint. I love mint, especially we make a lot of mint tea. So Moroccan mint tea. We make a lot of that. So I love my homegrown fresh mint. Just pick it, chop it, make tea out of it. Awesome. They can fly a bit better than chickens. Okay, yeah. I was wondering if they're those low flying birdie types. They can fly good. I have about 200, 300 small quail here. They live up. Are they your captive? Are they quails that you keep yourself drop? Jessica from Just Went is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate you dropping in. They're wild here, and yes, you can eat. uh, yeah, it clears the airways and it clears the other passageways as well, which is pretty good. Thanks. It's going to be like your fishing stream just in here, though. So let's see who's back. So we've got put your hands up if you're here, because I'm showing a participant count of 0. Yeah, we've got 2 people back in. Let's see who's. Time is a member of the Mint family, in case you didn't know that. There's 17 types of time. Wow. Mags, oh, everyone's coming back. My hands up. Everyone's coming back. That's all right. I didn't know that. Do you know? I've grown thyme. I've grown sage, um, and I've killed it every time I've grown it. So I buy it from the supermarket. Buy a nice pot, really lush looking thyme, sage, really lush looking, and I seem to kill it every single time. Um, and I get told that it wants a really bland, type of soil, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong with. And they're supposed to be really hardy plants as well, but I seem to kill it every time I get it. I think I've done it about 3 times now that I've bought a nice healthy looking plant. It's maybe gone through 1 year. Sometimes into the second year, it's just died off. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with these. Started a 5 tier stackable planter and planted thyme, basil, etc. in it. Wrong, wrong to buy from the supermarket. They're forced in a greenhouse to keep them tender. Yeah. Um, no, the ones that I'm talking about. And do you know the weren't the herby type times. There were the times from the time that are designed, to plant for your garden. So they were quite woody. I mean, yeah, they were quite woody. So they weren't the ones that they have in the kitchen section or with the fresh veg. It's the ones that they have in that outdoor section, with the plants to plant outside. But every time I bought them and I've gone through one season or or even in that very first season, I've ended up killing it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with them. Started a 5 tier stackable planter, planted thyme, basil, etc. How cold does it get where you are during the winter? Bish, what have you been up to? So has anyone else managed to get anything planted this over the last couple of days or last couple of weeks, getting into autumn? I got my garlic planted out a few days ago. No, well, not a few days ago. It was last weekend. I got my garlic planted out. Um, so hopefully, we should be getting some garlic sprouts soon. Finished a contest today. What contest did you do? Um, Bouncer Slab is here. That's a face I haven't seen for a long time. How are you doing, man? Finally, you got a notification for me. That's awesome. Um, got elephant garlic, and overwintering Japanese and onion planted. Wow. I've never grown elephant garlic before, and I need to get some overwintering onions to plant. I'm thinking of planting my onion seeds as well soon, so I can plant those out as early as possible. I know a lot of people tend to plant them out. Well, start planting them in December and then plant them out in Marchish. But I want to try and get a head start on them this year. Uh, plant a ca- Catanista orange berries. I've never even. Oh, you planted Catanista berries. I've never even heard of those things. You can get as low as 27 Celsius in the winter, but not usually gets below 0 Celsius. Oh, okay. So we'll get around there pretty soonish, regularly. Yeah. I thought winter would. I thought I could feel winter coming, but It seems like this week's been a bit warmer. It's just been horrible, pouring down with rain, non-stop pouring down with rain. Um, yeah, it's been crazy the amount of rain that we've had. I'm just getting ready to go hunting and more wild mushrooms. Delicious days ahead. And see, I'm learning slowly about mushrooms. But there's so much to learn when it comes to mushrooms. I mean, Bouncer, are you on Instagram? Because I've found some pictures of some. Well, I didn't find some pictures. I found some blue mushrooms in the garden. Uh, it was absolutely amazing. They were blue with a yellow ring in the middle of them. Some of the most amazing mushrooms that I've ever seen, and it's something that I really want to learn. And I've learned to identify a couple of them. But so far, the ones that I've identified are not edible, or if they are, they're not the best edible mushrooms in the world. Um, Mags, that's like me. Yeah, I'm very much the same. I don't trust myself with wild mushrooms, but I want to learn it because they just seem like there's so much I'd love to know about them. They're, they're a great, well, natural resource because in my garden, they're growing up. I've got loads growing up, um, all over the place. So I've got common ink caps growing, um, and I've got some agrarious type mushrooms, but they're often the little brown mushrooms, and they're the ones to be a little bit careful of. So it's something that I do want to learn because we've got loads of wild mushrooms in the garden, and I think I've got some honey fungus. I'll get some pictures of the honey fungus up tomorrow and see if you guys can identify that. Um, Contonista is a spring flowering shrub and produces berries for the birds in the winter. Very nice. I'll have a look. I'm gonna have a look at that. I'm gonna have a look at what that is. Because if it's, I don't. If it's not veggie type stuff, Bish, I'm really poor at that kind of stuff. Um, I experiment on my neighbours first. You should contact your local university and ask the agricultural department to come out and show you which ones are edible. Um, I don't know if they'll do that. Will they just send someone out? Has anyone else ever heard of any a university in Britain doing stuff like that? Just coming out and helping you learn about mushrooms. I had a wild mushroom once. Woke up in the lion cage at Dudley Zoo. Dan Anderson's here. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Um, I hope you're keeping well. Dan Anderson, he's awesome. He plays the guitar. He's absolutely, yeah. He's got some skills, man. He's got some proper mad skills. Um, Bish, Bish and those magic mushrooms. Uh, do you know what Drop just mentioned about a university sending out people to teach you about mushrooms? Has anyone heard of that kind of thing in the UK? Because I was trying to get on some mushroom walks, in the local mycological society, but they're really difficult group to get hold of. Yeah, they're really. They seem. I mean, the website's there, but it seems like it's not been updated for years. They've got a contact number that you can never get through to, but but I know there is one local, and I think that they do some kind of um some kind of autumn walks, and I wanted to get onto one of those really. Yeah. Um, Frank Caldwell's here. Just a quick visit after work while food is cooking. Frank, what you having for dinner? See, we got pizza tonight. So just before I came on, we were still munching on pizza. Um, you should have a Royal Society for yeah, we've got that. We've got one of them. For some great mushroom info, go to Learn Your Land channel. Yes, I've been on his channel. But the only because I watched his video on little brown mushrooms, and the what he was talking about there was the little brown mushrooms are the ones that to be a little bit wary of. There are some edible ones, and there are some ones that have loads and loads of ones that you can get mixed up with. So yeah, but yeah, I know the channel that you're on about. I think is brilliant. Spicy chicken breast and a few chips, homemade chips. Um, michaelsupply.com is a great website. Is a bit okay. Jazz is here and the beady dude is here. How are you guys doing? I've seen your updates on your shed. That's looking awesome. Uh, Black bloody phone was playing up. Okay. Oh, now the party's really getting into it. Yeah. So Jazz, we were just talking about mushrooms and wild mushrooms that are growing. I don't pick anything that has multiple lookalikes. I like living. See, do you know, like, I'm confident that I could find, identify a mushroom like chicken of the woods or lion's mane, for example. I'm quite confident I could identify that, or even, like an oyster mushroom. But I can never. You go out and you can never find these kind of mushrooms. The ones that you find are the ones, like the field. They look like field mushrooms, but they have so many lookalikes. So yeah, don't don't really get any. I've not managed to get any wild mushrooms yet. Um, the shed's up and we're collapsed. Uh, yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys must be knackered. I've seen the amount of work that you've been putting in. You've done well. You've done well if you've got that up. So I saw on Facebook, you guys out there putting it up. I didn't know how far you'd got, but that's a fantastic job if you got it up. Um, I'm trying to learn about it, Jazz. I'm trying to learn about wild mushrooms. Walaikum assalam. So my wife's been. I was telling everyone at the start the stream that I was ill last weekend, and the kids have had it one by one. They've all got ill. The baby's been ill. He's still a little bit grumpy. And my wife's been bedbound all day today, so she's been quite bad. Um, I think I managed to drag her downstairs just before the live stream, so she could join us in pizza. But yeah, she's been really sore today. One after another, we've all had it. I find with wild mushrooms that here in the UK, it's better to have three books on them properly, identify them because most books will say different things. So if they say the same thing, it's going to be right. That's not a bad idea. I was thinking about. Can anyone recommend a good field manual? Because I think I want to get. Yeah, foraging mushrooms would be something that I'd really want to get into. Wild shrooms are the one thing that I'm most dubious about. Uh, Beardy one and Rule love the puffball ones though. They're dense, tasty, and with a bit of garlic. They're really quite nice. Are they the real? Do you know the puffballs that you get? Are they the really big ones or are they the small ones? Because I found a few black puffballs last year, but they're not edible. But they're good for starting fires. Yeah. and I found a really cool looking one. I put it on my Instagram. It's like a blue colored mushroom with yellow rings in the middle. Test them on a relative you don't like. um, See, that's the other thing. I remember finding a load of mushrooms that I was pretty confident were field mushrooms, uh, and I brought home like a carrier bag full. It was when we were having the garden done here. Sorry, when we were having the extension done at this house, just before we moved in, and I remember bringing home a carrier bag full of mushrooms from the garden here. Took them home, and my wife was like, "Yeah, just get them out of the house." I didn't get a notification. Good to catch you live. Cheryl, how are you doing? Long time no see. How are you keeping? It's been a bit. YouTube's been really temperamental recently. I'm not getting notifications from most of the people's channels that I watch. They're not even coming up on my homepage anymore to say that um, this person's put out a video recently. So I have to go in and manually look at people's videos to see who's put out a new video and who hasn't. So I'm hardly getting anyone's notifications recently, and I'm not even getting it on the home screen. So it's been a bit weird. I've lots of foraging books in my wish list. Not promoting that, but there are some nice ones on the links on my videos if you're not. Nice one, Jazz. Is the one that you can is the one that you would recommend? I didn't get a note. Best way to start foraging, mate, is to start basics. I can do videos eventually, but if you like wild garlic, mint, water mint, and some basic mushroom, it all depends on the season, really. See, I'd love to find someone that I could go with, and look at stuff that, like, there's normally an old person somewhere that want to help. I'm sure that came out wrong. Lady of Lake Fork is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate you coming in. That's a great channel, everyone. Really, really nice person as well. Really good supporter. Yeah. If you don't, if you, I'm sure a lot of people won't know her, so just say hello. Uh, I'm saying the Highlands. How you doing? Good to see a fellow forager here. Hosting the Highlands one YouTube is odd at the moment and views are low. Jazz, that's what I'm well disappointed by the views that I'm getting on my videos recently. I don't know what's going on. Have they? I don't know if they're changing that algorithm again, and messing about with things that way. But yeah, my views in since July, I was getting like 400-500 videos over views on a video overnight. Now I'm getting 200-300 videos views on a video in about a week, 2 weeks. I'm thinking, what am I doing this all for? Um, I forage Safeways and Asda. Have you guys still got Safeways? Because they could shut Safeways down up here. Thank you, Bish, for the lovely toy. The kids loved it. Yeah, yeah. Um, Bish gave us this go fishing toy to play with the kids. Fantastic, mate. Thank you very much for that. What are you doing here? Have you finished watching Dumbo?
No, I'm not.
So what?
Mum said I can come up here,
Okay.
but I can't interrupt.
Okay. So she's been instructed she can come up, but she can't interrupt. There's one called the Wild Food. It has a grey background and white text on the cover.
What?
I looked at that in Waterstones and it was good. Okay. I grew up foraging, but I haven't done any videos yet. But I love it, especially love foraging on the coast. See, Seamus, I don't see. We used to go scrumping for apples, right? We used to go scrumping for pears, blackberries. when we were kids in the city that I grew up in Sheffield, and when we were kids there, I used to know where all the wild apple trees were, where all the pear trees were, and we'd just be out there, picking whenever it was apple season, we'd be out there. Yeah, but now it's harder to do when you're an adult. It feels a bit more naughty. You may be following too many people. I get notified if I get followed. If I follow too many of my favourites drop off.
Even if I
Mm,
was watching them
that
regularly.
that might be an issue because, but like I make sure that I've got everyone's bells rung that I regularly
And
watch.
that means more
Like
holding.
I wasn't getting any notifications from alternative small holdings, so I went on, unsubscribed, subscribed, rang the bell again, but still I'm not getting the notifications. I've done that from a few people, but people that I like to watch, unsubscribe, subscribe, ring the bell again, and that's normally sorted it out in the past, but it seems to have not worked this time. Um,
And that means small holding.
See, mine have halved overnight. Used to get 1,000 in 24 hours, and now it's about 400. I don't know what's going on, Jazz. I really don't know what's going on.
Who's Jazz? Is it this?
Lady of the Lake. Oh no, it's my favourite. Okay. Cheryl saying hello. Say hello.
Hello.
And Rue says hi to you.
Hello.
طيب وعليكم السلام. You okay, buddy?
Hello, Vanya. Now
um,
he's coming.
he's coming up now as well.
Yeah, I can hear his steps. I said, hi,
It's like the
Vanya.
bigger channels are getting pushed by YouTube, but the smaller channels aren't. Yeah, I think so. But the thing is, how are we gonna grow if we don't get a push by YouTube? Because
I knew you were coming up.
like when I put a when I put a, when I put a video out,
Come up.
I post it all over Facebook,
Why is it
and
pixelized?
and at the moment, do you know when I'm putting a video out, half my views are coming from outside of YouTube. So half my
Look,
views are coming
look,
from Facebook
look.
and
Who
Twitter.
says hi?
Who says hi?
He's real.
You know,
Remember?
when we went to Malvern, you guys were playing together.
Oh, yeah. Say hello to Rue. Hi, Rue.
Um,
Lady of Lake Fog.
that and the algorithm is messed up. Yeah, I don't. How we?
That's my comment.
Yeah.
Mum deleted all the emojis.
Okay. Uh,
Hello. It was Hello Kitty. Kiddo to you mean?
she said hello to you
Oh.
because one kiddo was already here and the other kiddo's here now.
I'm the kiddo one, you're the kiddo two. I'm the kiddo one. I'm older than you. You're kiddo one, I'm kiddo two.
See,
Zach is kiddo
had
three.
fun. Jazz is saying she had fun at Malvern with you guys.
Wait, which one's...
Remember when we were hanging about?
Well, which one's Jazz?
Rue's mum.
Okay.
Yeah, the baby's coming up as well.
Hello, come on, come on.
Why did you walk in and do a dance?
Okay.
Okay.
Go in, baby, go in. Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
My dad used to call them kiddie wings. Yeah, I've heard of kiddie wings. I've heard of kiddie wings. Baby's going. Hello. My God. Zaki, say hi, Boo. Zaki, say hi, Boo.
Mags, thanks for spending some time with us.
Zaki.
We'll see you soon.
Zaki, say hi, Boo. Hi, Boo. But that's not how you spell bye. Bye. You meant to.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Ow. My
Mags,
God. Hey.
no, if I do that, well, hold on.
Hello to the three.
Hello, kiddo 3.
3.
See,
I'm kiddo 1. You're kiddo 2. He's kiddo 3. Kiddo 1, kiddo
don't
2,
start pressing
kiddo
stuff.
3, kiddo 6.
Okay, calm down. Calm down. See, they've completely taken over now.
Wait, what? He's a them two are taking over. That means
Yeah, this is what you call a channel takeover.
Oh, boy, we have to come down.
And they don't
Come
give
down.
me.
Okay, Mom.
Off you
We're
go.
coming.
Go that way. Go that way. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, buddy. I mean, only what? G.
Hello.
See, I mean, one video I have over 1K views, and then I upload one today, and it won't even break 100. It's pretty bad, and sucks because YouTube is letting us all down by not showing our notification. You're right. You're absolutely right. The thing, I was, I was talking. Okay, I was about to say something. No? Okay, sit back. I was about to say something before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can I speak now? Can I move your mouth away from the screen like that? No. Okay. Yeah. I'm really. He's watching himself on the big screen, you know, so he can see the inside of his mouth. So he's looking. What's going on? Come on, kiddo. Stop. Are you gonna stop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good boy. He's got this head, and it's like a rock. Do you know his head? It's like a rock, and he'll jump up, and he'll give you that headbutt right on the end of your nose, and he'll send you. Oh, just so you know, Monty, I've been banned from connecting on Facebook for 25 days. You're joking. No way. No way. I don't even know what to say to that. That's absolutely crazy.
Yes.
That's a highly developed baby for his age. Every time I see him, he's progressed further. He's how old are you now? 25 months. So yeah, he's 25 months. He's a bit small for his size. He's got a head like a breeze block that he uses to knock you into the middle of next week. Knock you, yeah. I've had that. Okay. Nice one. Homes in the Highlands. That's really funny. No censorship. Oi. That's pathetic. That's really. Yeah. Okay, calm down. Terry King's here. Terry, how are you doing? How are you doing? Calm down. Yes. Drops Family Garden. It's not like those who pay for advertising are getting preferred treatment. and stopping freedom of speech or anything. Do you know, see, Facebook's turning into it's turning into a really weird place. They are censoring a lot of things recently. I mean, that's not. That's not. Ow!
So I'm okay.
You're okay. Yeah, You gave me a dead leg. I'm sure you're fine.
Mama, Daddy.
Right, wonderful people.
Mama,
I'm off to
Daddy.
bed. Have a wonderful evening. Seamus, thanks for coming in and hanging out, mate. You take care. Okay, off you go. Go and find your own way downstairs. Go on, get. Oh, these kids are bonkers. I hardly use Facebook anymore. I post the post about over a month ago and only just been banned. That's really pathetic, though. That really is pathetic. Nick's allotment diaries here. How are you doing, Nick? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're well. See, I'm not getting any notifications from you either. I used to get whenever you put a video out, I'd get a notification. Same from Terry's channel, I'd get a notification. I don't get any notifications anymore. Um, YouTube's just been really rubbishy. Rachel Jane's allotments here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for popping in. How are you keeping? They're getting ready to have a. No, you're not allowed to play with them. Right, the baby's got a marker. Before he wrecks something that we can't repair, let me go and stop him. Just give us a second, guys. Zaki, what have you got? No, what have you got? Just in the nick of time. He was about to draw on the wall. So Terry, my daughter's saying hello to you. I can see his brain working. Chinese are putting a lot of pressure on social media to censor stuff. I think I think all the big corps are trying to do something. All the big corporations are trying to keep, you know, censor a lot of stuff. Nick, they're not. He he was just about to draw something on the. He's not shy at all, and he's quite a strong lad for his size. He had the lid off the marker off. He was about to just go for the walls. Managed to get to him just in time. He's a little nutter, that one, and he's got a head like a breeze block. Mrs. Green Thumbs here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good here. How are you doing? Chatter this week suggests we may get social scores like China, but it's already called my life. What does that mean? What are social scores? Bish is back with his pudding. What kind of pudding have you got? So the bearded dude has fallen asleep. That's because you've worked him so hard today. Have you used any of the fleece? I've got you wondering how you're using it. Why, do you know why we went when we went on Hajj? My brother stuck all of it in because I said some of it was to compost and some of it we're going to use to mulch some of the plants. He just heard the compost part and put all of it in the compost pile. So yeah, Cheryl from Homestead in the Highlands, she visited, and she brought me a black bag of sheep's wool and to mulch some of my plants with for winter. Uh, and what I said to my brother was some of it we're going to use in the compost pile and some of it we're going to use, and for mulching. And he said that we're going to use it for mulching and composting, and he's put it all in the compost pile while I was away. Uh, he's got an Eton mess. I don't know what an Eton mess is. I've lived a sheltered life. I don't know what an Eton mess is. I'm gonna have to Google what an Eton mess is. That looks quite nice. That. So strawberries, broken meringue, whipped double cream. I like meringue. Um, just try and be tidy with it, but Bish. Saw you some of your monarch butterflies flying around my garden. Uh, I think you'll find we both worked hard on the shed. It's just he's the only one in. um, Mrs. Greenthumb drops family garden. I plan on release a lot more next year. That's amazing. I love the work that you've done on the butterflies. They've been yeah. Um, I've still got my. I haven't got any potato plants that are still alive. I've got quite a few potato plants that are dead, but some of my potatoes are still in the ground. Some of my potatoes are the plants have died and they're still in the pots. And I need to pull them out really and find out what's inside because the longer you leave the potatoes in the ground, especially at this time of year, the slugs just get in and destroy them. Um, when does the Hajj video post? I need to get round to posting that. I need to get round to because I've got a few hours worth of raw footage, and I just need to find a way of editing that down and finding the time to edit that down and put it into some sort of legible um, way form that's not too boring for everyone. Um, so I'll try and get it done. I'll try and get it done. Hopefully, when everything quietens down over the gardening season and I've got a bit more time to do stuff, I'll hopefully get it done then. So the call got to mind, Jazz, but hopefully I'll have enough for Christmas. See, we've still got those grocery trays, those big plastic grocery trays that you see veg stored in. I've got two of those full of potatoes at the moment, just in my shed. They're laid out in the shed, covered with a towel. So we've got loads yet. Yeah, ours are in the ground. Main crop are really badly slug damaged. We're chopping and freezing for roast taters. That's a shame. I hate it when the slugs get it like that. What variety did you use? About a dozen tiny little potatoes, so they went in a stew. Oh, Cheryl, that sounds awesome. See, I like the the fresh tiny potatoes because you can make roast potatoes and pan fried roast potatoes. They're awesome. Magnetic G's here. How are you doing, kiddo? Thank you very much for coming in. It's been horrid here in the Midlands, hasn't it? I think that's what's causing the internet. Whenever it gets windy up here and it's not and rainy, our internet goes really slow. It's slower than usual. So hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. I didn't lose too many people there. Um, I have sweet potatoes and potatoes growing. I missed that drops comment. Mine have all died, but I'm still digging them up as needed. See, that's what I was thinking. Drop. That's what I was thinking of doing with the ones in the pots and the in the ties, just leaving them as long as possible, and the ones in the ground, just digging them up and saving them from the slugs. Because once the slugs get to them, they just completely ruin them. I'll put some photos of my spuds on your group. Nice, nice, Frank. What varieties did you plant? Potatoes do grow well here. We used our favourite Valor. They're usually really huge, tasty, no damage. But this, they're quite old varieties. Do you know, like I think I don't King Edwards are they? Pink, yeah, King Edwards. The pink and white. I normally plant them, and I normally plant Desiree. And you can, they're just, you know, the cheapy ones from the Wilco's, the ones, because the Wilco's normally put on like four varieties as main crop, and they put them on in the big bags. So it's just normally them that I get. So I don't get anything too fancy, too, you know, I just go for the cheaper ones. And this year the Desiree have been absolutely fantastic. Um, I grow a Scottish type of potato that's grown up here. See, a lot of the seed potatoes come from Scotland, Cheryl, because you don't suffer from blight as much. Just visited and hit the bell. Awesome. Um, how many sacks of leaf mould are you aiming at, Terry, this year? I need to sort ours out. Yeah, I love Terry's. See, I love Terry's leaf mould videos. Um, Video up tomorrow. I've got three wheelie bins full. You've got three bins full of leaves already. I started my Christmas board from late July. One tub of Maris Pear, the rest are Charlotte and Nicola. You should see my garlic. Uh, it's nigh on a foot tall. When did you plant your garlic? So I want. I planted my garlic last year in October, and this year I wanted an early start, so I wanted to go for like a September planting. That's what I wanted to do, Frank. I wanted to go for a September planting this year for my garlic, but I just didn't have the time. And then once I cleared that potato bed, and that's where I wanted my garlic to go. Um, because I got dragged in to help my sister out at her house, we just didn't get any time to get the garlic planted. Um, I love Terry's leaf mold videos. See that's where I learnt my leaf mold. Do you know how to make leaf mold from? Watching Terry's leaf mold. Um, I wanted to experiment. So if anyone doesn't know Terry, Terry's robotic gardening, Terry King robotic allotment gardening on a budget. Yeah, compost videos, leaf mold videos, uh, liquid fertilizer videos, those kind of videos. You won't get videos as quality as that anywhere. Packed full of information. I love. I learnt what make my leaf mold from watching his videos. He does loads of growing veg as well, and some giant veg. Love to gather leaves, but the trees don't want to leave them up. That's what I'm saying. I was hoping I haven't seen many leaves falling yet. There's a few ash leaves falling about. We have four tubs of all sorts of stuff going. Not sure if they will get any bigger now though. Have you have you uh, have you ever grew garlic and let it go through the winter? Um, Grown garlic, do you mean from the season before? Because I've just planted my garlic last weekend. I'm going to let that go through. And then I won't harvest that until next May, June, July-ish at the latest. So normally by June I'm ready to harvest. I just throw leeks, onions, garlic in the front garden bed and let it all grow. I bought a cordless leaf vac which chops up the leaves as they are picked up. That's pretty handy. See, what I did last year was I gave the garden a late mow, so I mowed the grass and because it wasn't such a cold winter last year, was it? So we had loads of leaves on the lawn, so I just mowed the grass and got all the leaves at the same time. So I had a good mix of leaves and grass, and yeah, got really quick leaf mold as well because probably about 6 months later it was ready to harvest. There's a job up here called Tatty Roga. A Tatty Roga where you go around the potato farms and pull out any plants that look sick. It's a seasonal job, but you can make a lot of money doing it. uh, very little leaf fall here either. Yeah, it's really warm for this time of year. I thought a couple of weeks ago I thought yes, do you know autumn's coming and winter's ready, gonna come round the corner. But now it just seems like the days are getting shorter, but it's not getting that much colder. Well, it doesn't feel drastically colder. Um, Read later, Haj series may never find another opportunity. Already one foot in the grave. Don't want to miss a thing. If you have security concerns, don't make it. I can Wikipedia. Uh, okay, I'll chat to you a bit more about that. I don't know what I need that explaining. It's cold in Ontario, and we plant garlic in October and grow through to June, and then use our beds again for beans. See, that's what see. I grow through to about June-ish, and I plant Normally, I follow it with squash or potatoes. No, sorry, squash or something else, not potatoes. Um, the bed that I used for potatoes is where I'm planting my garlic, and that's what I'll use for my squash next year. Making room for this year's Frank won't be collecting for a few weeks. Um, Hobby and I don't eat fish, but if you ever want to come up, we have a spare room and in less than a minute from the spay. Bish, I think that's a fishing trip to Scotland. What do you say? There's some council flats around the corner with big grass areas, huge trees. I'm going to help the community with leaf clearing. What a good Samaritan you are, Frank. Stop letting out my room. I'll be there. See, I've been saying the same thing. Do you ever, Mrs. Greenthumb? That's something that I wanted to do this year. I couldn't find a local contest, and I was too wary about trying to get into a national contest. But Terry King, he does a lot of contest growing and growing giant vegetables. Um, One day I want to get to that level. Well, the idea made my raised bed garden made out of cement blocks in the winter. Stack the blocks up and compost mulch bed. It will make it until next spring. That way the worms. See, drop. What I was thinking was trying to do you know, an old fashioned hotbed. Just load it up with manure, load it up with compost, and get like a cold frame over the top, and try and grow through winter that way. Uh, so Bish is planning a trip to Scotland. Make sure you take me with you. Give the live a thumbs up, people. Yeah, please, if you haven't hit that like for me, please hit that like. I want to do the next. See, I want to do that. I want to get into it. I want to try some sort of contest, definitely for next year. I'm with you on that, Jazz. Um, Sophia, assalamu alaikum. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for coming in. I wanted to plant my garlic in a pot. Not sure how deep. I need the pot to be though. If you want to plant in a pot, are you thinking of individual pots for one garlic, or are you thinking of like a window box? Something about 6 inches is plenty deep enough for garlic. Garlic, garlic, onions. They don't have massively deep roots. So if you go for something wide and long rather than deep, 6 inches is plenty. Um, you, just make sure you keep it, keep it well watered when it's in the summer. Um, Mrs. Greenthumb, that's definitely something I want to do. I want to get into a contest. We went down to, I don't know if you saw my trip out to Malvern um, video. You can see Terry King's red cabbage actually on there, and one of the other YouTubers, and you can see my day out with alternative small holding, Jazz and her family. We had a great day. It was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it. And Jazz, definitely, I'm on it. I'm on it for next year. I wanna get something in at Malvern. Maybe not. Maybe not. If I can't get into the giant veg, then at least I'll get something into, the free for all tent. I think that's what they call it anyway. We could plant the same veg at the same time and compare through the growing season. We could do. That's not a bad idea. We could do like a virtual reality competition, a virtual competition. Everyone does the weighing at the same time on the same day. That'd be a good idea. Next spring I'll do more raised beds with cement blocks and round rebar, and the blocks wrap it with deer net. Keep the quail and deer out. Backyard gardening is here. How are you, brother? How are you doing? I hope you're well. Thank you very much for coming in. Um, I'm really good. I'm really good. Uh, yeah, we had a bit of a slow start, but it's really got going now. Sorry, everyone, really tired. Been out all day. Need an early night. Nick, thanks for coming in and hanging out. Um, yeah, if anyone doesn't know Nick's allotment diary, go and say hello to him as well. He's a great guy, absolutely brilliant guy. We met Nick at Malvern, met Terry at Malvern, met Jazz and the family at Malvern. Fish with Bish was there. Really nice, cool day out. Really was a cool day out. Um, hang on. What have I missed anything? Um, the garlic, onions. Never heard of that. GU seeds. I put sulfur on my raised beds a couple of weeks ago after finding that they're alkaline soil due to living on a limestone cliff. Can't believe I didn't do that last year. What are you doing? Come on. What's up with you? What's going on with you? What you... Okay. Okay, cool. He's not always so happy. He's not always so happy. He does it in front of people. He shows everyone his good side when he's in front of people. And as soon as you guys turn off the screen, he's okay. Go. You need to get your pajamas on. Go, pajamas. Yeah. Uh, so what have I missed? The cute when they're giggling, and then when he's screaming and shouting, it's a different story. Um, I was thinking of having a go, Jazz. I was thinking of having a go at maybe a giant kohlrabi. I think I could have a go at a giant kohlrabi or a giant beetroot. I didn't think the beetroots looked that unattainable, so I think I could have a go at that. And try and grow Persian carrots. They're supposed to be short and bowl-like, and see if they grow to those in those 20 by 11 trays. See, that's where the carrots originated from. So Persia, Afghanistan, that kind of area. That's the so yeah. You might be getting something that's a lot more that hasn't been tampered with as well. And they're originally purple and white. Uh, Stop being jealous now. That baby is perfection. He's a little nutter. Yeah. Started my call. Robbie too late. Don't think didn't get anything. Did I see Sam's allotment diaries here? How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate that, mate. How are you keeping? Um, See, that's another one that I'm not getting any notifications for either. UK Scrappers here. Paul, how are you doing, man? Thank you very much for coming in. I have some giant seeds. Might do a giveaway. Awesome. I'll definitely be in that. Trying to get into that. Where'd you get your giant seeds from, Terry? Because I'm thinking I really fancy a pop at something. It was interesting in tomatoes and rhubarb. My rhubarb plant is crazy huge, and I don't do anything to it. See, I used to have some really big rhubarb plants. We don't eat rhubarb in our house. We don't eat rhubarb. So I built my compost piles on top of them to kill the rhubarb. So yeah, we've got loads. We had loads of rhubarb, but I've killed them now. Um, my rhubarb is a huge failure, but it's in a huge tub, which apparently they don't like. See, I think they like being in the ground. Um, yeah, I think they like being in the ground. You know, uh, Persian carrot is so sweet that belongs to my homeland. Persian, nice. Why are you bringing me that? Okay. I looked at £32 for giant tomato seeds. Wow. Uh, you talk nicely to the giant veg growers. So that's how you get your seeds. I'm gonna grow. uh, £32, but that's a fortune now. That's about $40 for a pack of seeds. I don't eat rhubarb. I drink it. I've seen your wine making with your rhubarb. Frank Cole, we used to have huge rhubarb, and Dad used to lift it every year and split it in half, and it always did well. See, we we used to eat when we were kids. We used to eat the rhubarb, sticks raw. So we just pick the rhubarb sticks fresh off the plant and just eat the sticks. But yeah, it's a bit too sour for me now. When I've grown up. Yeah, but I hate my alkaline soil. Plus, I don't grow anything in the ground. It's all raised beds and tubs. Have you got? I can't remember. Have you got any trees in your garden, Frank? You could, because you could always stick it on. Stick rhubarb under a tree type area. They do. They don't mind a bit of shade. Because I had my rhubarb under a giant sycamore tree, and they did fine there until I composted them to death. Dip it in sugar. Raw rhubarb dipped in sugar. It's a tooth rotter, but very tasty. You see, listening to you guys, and I'm thinking, I might have to grow it again. You see, Sophia, that's what I'm saying. I used to like rhubarb when I was a kid, though, but now no one eats it in our house. So no one eats the. Stop it. 2 minutes. Come on. 2 minutes. You need to just push that.
2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I grew some.
2 minutes.
I grew some Ukrainian rhubarb. What's the difference between Ukrainian rhubarb and the regular rhubarb? Drops on the garden. Good luck with your new stuff. That's amazing job. No trees, just some patio ones. Which, if they don't flower this spring, they're going in the compost. Frank, tell them that they might flower. I'm telling my fig tree that at the moment. I've got a fig tree. It's about 12 foot tall, and it's 3 years old, and I haven't seen a flower on it. Yeah, I've never seen a flower on it. So I was talking to Brian, from Allotment Life, and he was telling me to cut it in half, and it should bush out. So I'm gonna give that. I'm scared. I keep saying I'm gonna give it a go, but I need to give it a go. Um, 2 minutes. What's going on for 2 minutes? Oh, is the baby saying 2 minutes? Okay. uh, is Terry? Terry, have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for popping in. It isn't a pot, Jazz. It isn't a pot. It was in. Yeah, no, it's always been in a pot. It was in a small, about a 6 inch kind of pot, but it's. I think last year we moved it into about a 10 inch pot, but it isn't a pot. The figs are supposed to fruit better when the root balls compact. They're supposed to fruit. It's supposed to force them to fruit. But this one's not fruited. It's about 3 years old. I mean, he just ran off that way. I wasn't expecting it to fruit in the first couple of years, but hopefully by now, I was hoping that it might have done something. It's in full sun. It's right next to my chicken house, so that area gets sun from sunrise all the way to sunset. It's right in the middle of the garden. You can buy them on Amazon or Dollar Tree store at any local nursery. Persian cucumber, watermelon, carrot, another fit, and others are famous. Um, I'm thinking maybe have a look at these Persian carrots because yeah, uh, that is one city Persians love. Fig Newton's biscuits. Fig Newtons. Ah, okay. I've never had them Fig Newtons. Did you see that thing I tagged you in the other day? Sam, I've not had a notification from your channel for ages. I was saying this earlier. Um, I didn't, but I'm gonna go have a look now. Well, once I finish the live stream and see what's going on, because I don't get notifications from Jazz's channel anymore. Um, I even unsubscribed and subscribed back to her channel, and turn the notifications on and off. See if I can get notifications, but I'm not getting anyone's notifications anymore. I get some really obscure notifications now, so I don't know what's going on with YouTube. So I better get over and have a look at that. Um, that's why I asked if it was in a pot. My mum's gave its first fruit this year. I think it was about 4 years old. 4 years old, so I might have some luck next year then. Um, Drops Family Garden. Do you get a test kit and make sure soil is right? Sam, I don't think it's just your channel, mate. I don't think it's just your channel. I was we were talking about it earlier on. Jazz was saying she used to get 1,000 views overnight, and now she gets like 300, 400. Whereas I used to get 400, 500, 3, 4, anywhere up to 500 views within the first few days, and now I'm getting 200 to 300 in about a week. So there's something going on with YouTube at the moment. I think Petals on the paving stones has a fig in a pot and did nothing until he put it in the ground. See, the only thing that we've got here that would make my garden would be perfect if we weren't so exposed. We'd get a lot of wind. Do you know when it's windy? It's really windy. There's two huge trees on either side of my garden, and the wind pushes up the side of two houses. So it's my garden's like a huge wind tunnel. So the wind flows up my garden and up the side of my house. It's just like a huge wind tunnel. Otherwise, the garden would be absolutely bang on because it's almost south facing. It's sort of slightly southwest ish. Slightly south. It's like southwest. The garden's position, but it's south enough for me. I got a pH probe a month ago. I should have got one a year ago. Um, how did you find? How accurate did you find that? Because I got a pH probe a while ago. Um, it was it was a cheap one. It really didn't tell me a lot. It very rarely changed between whether I was in a one bed, another bed. If I went and checked it in ericaceous compost or not, it just gave me the same reading every time. So I binned it and I stopped, never used it again. Um, I need to go. I'm afraid been up to since 4 this morning, falling asleep. Don't want. Ish, I know you're always dreaming of me, mate. You have a good night. And I'll see you soon. Take care, man. I still need to get the test kit myself. Just I get a lot of wind, but that's why I have wind turbines. I love your your battery setup and your solar setup drop. I want something like that, but it's an expensive setup though. It looks like a pretty expensive setup. Thanks to my lovely other half, I'm able to get there now. She's treated me to a brand new ride. Oh, that's sweet. What happened? How did you bike pack in? This is just a probe that measures pH, moisture, and light. $7.99 from Amazon. See, I got something similar to that. Um, from eBay a few years ago, and it didn't really tell me anything. So I packed in, but it wasn't. It was a lot cheaper than that. It was a really cheapo thing. Um, Mine varied beds that got soil in the garden are 7.5. The ones full of mushroom compost and topsoil read around 6.8. Okay. So which ones are you trying to make more acidic? Because anything between 7.5 and 6.8, I'd say that's pretty good soil, isn't it? That's a good soil pH. I enjoyed your with your friends chat, brother. Uh, you take care, backyard garden. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Just old age 5 year. I've used it and I've used it, but the one I used it and abused it, but the one I'm not. It's cost 650 quid for a bike. Wow. Jazz, have a great evening. I think. Do you know what? We've been on here for almost an hour and a half. So we by about a couple of kilos of sulfur to drop the level nearer to 6 and a half. Are you trying to grow more acidic type plants, Frank? Because I'd have thought anything between 6.5 and 7.5 would have been pretty decent. Sophia, thank you very much for coming in. You take care. Have a good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Um, I think that's what we'll do as well. I think I'm gonna call it a night as well. We've been on here for about an hour and a half. But so I will no. Oh, there's Frank who's gonna no. But the more I read, the more I found that plants prefer, apart from brassicas, enjoy a more acidic soil. See, I know with potatoes, they want a slightly acidic soil because that will help with scab. Brassicas want an alkaline soil. Um, your carrots and stuff, they're not, they don't seem uh, too bothered. In the spring, I'm gonna try a seed potato and just erication compost. Oh, that'll be interesting. That'll be a nice little. Um, Last year I got a load of chippings from wood chips from pine and conifers. So what I did with all those chippings, I composted them separately, and I used them to make my potato beds this year. So that was pretty good. Uh, from Food Forest Permacultures here. Sam, you take care. I'm gonna call it a day as well. Howie, um, thanks very much for coming in. Appreciate your visit. But I was just about to call it a night. Um,
Yeah, go nice. That's so
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Let's say bye to everyone.
Okay,
Let's say bye,
bye.
bye. Right, guys. I'm gonna end it there, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
That's really wrong.
Take care, Paul. See you soon, mate.
Can I say?